Please get ready for a dictation from Hindustan Times dated 25th April. इसमें मैंने दो न्यूज़ आइटम्स को कंबाइन कर दिया है. एक तो जो पहले मैंने लिखवाई थी लास्ट टाइम उसमें उसका बैलेंस और एक एडिशनल और. तो you will find the document in the link of the same in the description. So wait for 5 seconds. Start. Kuwait, where New Delhi recently sent medical teams to help fight the pandemic, is home to nearly 1 million Indians. Together, these three small countries alone have around 1.5 million Indians as residents and workers. Beyond this, even conflict-ridden states like Iraq have Indians working as oil workers, truck drivers, and logistic handlers. There were over 17,000 working in the country as of last year. A significant reverse migration in the post-COVID-19 era will add extra strain on the Indian economy as the returning workers will add pressure on an already faltering job market, along with the exchequer losing out on remittances that could go into billions of dollars. India's outreach during the pandemic towards West Asia, from Saudi Arabia to Israel to Iran, has been robust. However, the government should also use this crisis to empower states to have a larger say on migration and economic resettlement issues as part of the center's foreign policy. The time is opportune to prepare and act collectively. A combination of pandemic-induced recession globally and travel restrictions, says a World Bank report, will see India's remittances fall by nearly a quarter next year, given that the bulk of remittances come from the Persian Gulf, which is also seeing the impact of the crash in oil prices. India will become more vulnerable. The fate of the highly skilled worker will also be under question if the United States' temporary block on immigrants is extended to H-1B visas. It is no surprise that a virus which requires social distancing has stopped air travel and caused enormous demand destruction would have a disproportionate impact on migration. This year will also see a large drop in cross-border student movement as the academic calendar gets disrupted. The pandemic has greatly accelerated anti-migration trends already developing thanks to a slowing global economy and nativist politics. The Persian Gulf and the US remained among the few destinations where Indian migration numbers were still growing. That is now unlikely to continue. Overseas migration benefits India in three broad ways: capital, social, release, and knowledge. When it comes to the first, the predicted fall in Gulf remittances will partially offset the gains to the balance of payments offered by lower oil prices. North America provides another substantial segment of India's remittances, but as immigrants there are more middle class, these remittances are less likely to fall. Gulf remittances, while remaining an important foreign exchange buffer, have been declining in importance to India's overall BOP. The region was arguably more useful because it provides badly needed jobs for working class Indians, initially from Kerala, but increasingly from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. This will be a much reduced safety valve. The role of the diaspora in the West in funneling know-how to India is underappreciated. This should be the least affected, as knowledge and its business applications can temporarily be managed online. The flow of students will also resume at some point, but it is now inevitable that migration will be much reduced. New Delhi may have to leverage its geopolitical influence with the Gulf Emirates. It should also contemplate including migration in its trade and investment agreements and working out health certification protocols for Indian travelers. A mitigation strategy is in line for one of the world's largest labor exporting nations. Stop.